As we are still, as you can see, in John chapter 4. After, not this video, but the next video, we will be completely done with John 4. And we will then be moving on to John chapter 5. And we'll be looking at John chapter 5. But until then, we are going to look at John 4, 46 through 50. And we're going to see what all this has to say. And of course, Jesus is in Galilee. That's where he left off. That's where we left off. That's where his background so far up to this point has left off. So let's look and see what verse 46 has to say. Verse 46 says this. Verse 46 says, "As he traveled through Galilee, he came to Cana, where he had turned the water into wine. And there was a government official nearby in Capernaum, whose son was very sick." So he's at the point where he did the miracle that his mother had told him. That his mother really, really wanted him to do. And, that's what he did in Galilee, and that's what they were talking about. So, he came here, a government official came, and asked him if he could come and see his son who's very sick. And verse 46 says, "When he heard that Jesus had came from Judah to Galilee, he went and begged Jesus to come to Capernaum to heal his son who was about to die." So, he had heard all the things that he had done, and he had heard that Jesus was coming down through there, and he knew that he did the miracle of turning the water into wine. So, this government official wanted Jesus to come and obviously heal his son before his son died. And that's very important for us to understand because, of course, by this point, they've all heard of what Jesus has done. So this is whenever Jesus is really doing what we would consider his first miracle in John. Verse 46 says, "Jesus asked, 'Will you never believe in me unless you see miraculous signs and wonders?'" So, here's Jesus' questions about why he wants him to come. Because obviously, the government official here would be Roman and more than likely doesn't believe in Jesus. But, he has heard and, he's all like, you don't believe in me, but yet, unless I do this miraculous sign and do these wonders, you won't believe in me? Like, is that really what it's going to take? Like, why is it just going to take me doing these signs and wonders to get you to believe in me? Why is it taking this much? What is it that, and will it? Because the Romans adopted a lot of different beliefs and cultures as they conquered. So, that's a very, very important statement that Jesus made because, he could believe in Jesus one day and turn away from Jesus the next day. He could believe in him one time and then completely just say, yeah, you know what, I'm going to go believe this guy. So Jesus here is all like, are you really going to just believe in me? Is this just because you've heard about me and you just want something? Or do you really want to believe and trust in me? Because like I said, they had many different gods, the Romans did, and adopted many different gods. And this is a government official who, more than likely could possibly get in trouble if he, believed in Jesus. The further along we go in the story and the further we go into history, he could get into trouble. But Jesus is all like, are you really going to believe in me? Because he has other opportunities to not to. He has other, gods. And Jesus is just wanting to really drive in that, believe in me. Don't just go and decide that, okay, today you're going to believe because you need him to do something for you. Or today you're going to do this because you want something in return. No, that's not what Jesus wanted from this person. Jesus doesn't want that. Jesus wants him to solely believe in him, to solely have a heart for Jesus, a heart for God. And that's what Jesus is trying to drill into this Roman official. Because, like I said, these officials could decide, for political reasons that they don't want to follow Jesus. They don't want to do this. They don't want to do that. And, Jesus is all like, are you really wanting to do this before I go with you? Are you really wanting to come with me? Are you really wanting to join me? Are you really wanting to know who I am, or are you just, as soon as I do this, you're just going to go off and have some other God that's more helpful to you? And then the government official says this. The official pleaded, Lord, please come now before my little boy dies. Then Jesus told him, go back home. Your son will live. And the man believed what Jesus said and started home. So he believed. He believed that, Jesus would have came. But the thing is that I believe that he wanted to teach this official was to believe in him, to believe in Jesus. Because it's very important for us as believers to believe. It's very important for us to not just have wishy-washy, I'll believe whenever I have to believe. I'll believe whenever it's important to me. I'll believe whenever it benefits me. Because, of course, like I was telling you, the Roman government was very corrupt. He could have looked and said, okay, I'll believe this day, but won't believe that day. Now, of course, Jesus would have known, because Jesus knows the heart of a person. Jesus knows this person's intent, knows what it is that this person is going to say or believe. He knows. But he wanted him to say it out of his mouth before he did it or said anything. And he really wanted him to think about that. Because like I told you, they have many opportunities and many choices to choose what God they want. They have a lot. A lot of different ones that do a lot of different things. Whether it's Greek or whatever other kind of places, religion that they adopted. They adopted many, 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 many different religions. But Jesus wanted to show and to test him and say, will you believe in me? Will you believe in me? Will you believe that what I say is true? Will you believe that what I'm telling you is the truth? Will you believe that what I'm saying is beneficial to you? Will you believe me? Will you trust me? That's really what he's saying here. He's asking this Roman official, will you trust me? And there are many times whenever Jesus is asking that of us, whenever we need something from him. Will you trust me? Will you trust me whenever it doesn't look like it's a good time, whenever it looks like it's going to be beneficial? Will you trust me? Will you trust me no matter what? Will you trust me in your good time and your bad time? Will you trust me when the economy's good, when the economy's bad? Will you trust me? Will you trust me? Will you trust his plan? Will you trust his purpose for your life? Will you trust him? That's the question that he asked the Roman official. That's the question he's asking us as individuals. Will we trust him? Because if we say yes and mean it with our heart, then I believe that what happened for the Roman centurion will happen for us. I believe that Jesus will look and say that, if there's been dead things in your life, that they will live again. That if there's been things that look like they're withering away, God will restore. I believe that. I believe that God will look into our situation and our circumstance. And because we believe in Him, because we believe in His Word, because we believe what He says, that He will look and say, yes. He'll look and say, okay. He'll look and give us the desires of our hearts. If we're faithful, obedient, if we do what He says to do, if we trust in Him, if we believe in Him, He'll help us. He'll lead us. I know sometimes it might not feel like that, but that's a part of trust. A part of trust is having faith in God, no matter the situation or the circumstance, no matter what it looks like, no matter how crazy things get. It's believing that God's still there. It's believing that He'll come through. It's believing that in the midst of chaos, in the midst of crazy seasons, God's still leading, protecting, and guiding, that God is still there. Because trust me, I'm sure that this official was going through a lot. Because I'm sure that by the way that he said, what he said in verse 46, that he loved his son. He loved his son a lot. And he didn't want his son to die. He cared about his son. And it's not just his caring that I believe led him to have healing enter and come into his son's life. I don't believe it's just caring about his son, but I believe that it is being wholeheartedly committed, wholeheartedly focused, wholeheartedly set on God, our mind, our will, our emotion, everything that is within us given to God. We saying yes to Him. We saying, it might not be what I thought, it might not be what I planned, but I trust You anyway. I trust You with my life. I trust You with my situation. That's what we have to say. That's what we have to say to Him. And that's what this Roman official said. That's what this Roman government official said, that they will trust Him. And that's what we have to say, that we trust You, Father, and He will be faithful and just to act out of compassion, out of mercy, out of love, and out of our faithfulness and obedience, our belief and our trust. God will move for us. It might not have been the way that we wanted. It might not have been the way that we expected. But God will move. He will move. I hope you all have enjoyed this video. I know that it was a little different. I know that I ended up reading it off of my phone, and it was a little bit different, but I hope that you've all enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, subscribe, and share the video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.